G'day, linesman. Welcome back. Offside Trap. What was here? We are right into the Euros. We're here to review or preview the quarterfinals. We're just done with the round of 16 games. Some great games there.
Oh, honestly, some of the most entertaining end-to-end football it's been missed for a while. Watching all these club matches and whatnot. But now it's love international football, and it's definitely back. So good to watch.
It's not gone, that's for sure. Now we'll get stuck right into it. The quarterfinals. We'll go into the first game, which is Switzerland versus Spain. So just a bit of background. This game will be played in St. Petersburg, Russia. And it is their first meeting in the Euros. They have played each other 3 times before, and Spain won the first 2. And then Switzerland won in 2010 World Cup. How have you found Spain has been in the tournament so far, Loz?
Yeah, not amazing. I think they've done the job for the team that they have. I don't think that the Spain that were the Spain of 2008 or the Spain of 2010 or even in that era with Iniesta, Xavi or anyone like that. It's a new era of the Spains. Even the people that were young back in those days, Aspi, Lalaqueta, for example, those players are really shining right now. But they're like the veterans, and it's interesting to see this new team come through.
Yeah, it is a bit weird. They're in a bit of a rebuilding phase. At the start, group stages, I felt they were a bit shaky. I am a bit surprised that they have come this far, to be honest. I thought they maybe wouldn't even get out of the group stages from those results. Yeah. You had your 0 versus Sweden, and then your 1-0 versus Poland. Was being Polish did anything stick out in that game that you saw from the Spaniards?
Not from the Spaniards. I can comment a lot about the Poles, but
true.
Different time, different place for that one. Disappointing.
Well, they are gone.
The Croatia game was probably one of the most interesting games at that point, at least in the Euros, in my opinion, at least.
That's probably the game of the tournament. That or even the Swiss coming over to France, which we'll get into.
Yeah. Of course.
But they have been a bit... I felt like before Spain have been a bit lacking up front in goals, but then they managed to score 5 against Croatia there. And look, they've only scored... they've scored 11 goals. You can thank the games against Slovakia and Croatia for that. But we'll just go to...
Switzerland have only scored 7 goals, so it is pretty different. Spain versus Switzerland right now.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah.
Now, how do you think Switzerland will do here? Because they have overcome the giants in France. That is the game.
Switzerland are hungry. I honestly think there could be, if you even call it, good one. There could be, if you would even call it an upset. Do you call it an upset after they've just beaten the world champions? I don't even know. I honestly think Swiss could actually do it against them. I'm 100%. Like, I would put my money, on Swiss for this game. Not that I would, but
Well, that's what we're here for, mate. We're doing some predictions. We'll get into the predictions later. But were you surprised when they overcame France? I think everyone was. I don't think there was one person.
Right? No, the multi-ruiner, as everyone calls it, right? Exactly. Everyone had France in. No question, without a doubt, that France would have won that match, because France were favourites to win the whole tournament, not just that match. People were looking well beyond that match. But now it's come to the point where everyone's rooting for the underdog. You always have to root for the player who beat the big dog. So in that case, France, and go the Swiss, go for it.
Now it is. The Swiss do have quite a physical team, and when you compare that to Spain's highly possession-based game, do you think that will be a factor into who gets the better out of that game?
No, of course. The Swiss will try and control the game as much as they can. Spain will just play their tactical possession game. I think they've been averaging above 65% or something possession each individual game that they've played in this.
Pull that one out of your arse there.
Pass. No, it's true. Honestly, look at the stats, man. Look at the
Yeah, well,
you can tell that they always have good passing stats. It's always going to be good for Spain. That's what they do. It's their bread and butter. But the fact that you have above 65% possession, I think it's probably the highest so far in any team. It's going to be an interesting game. Very interesting.
Yeah, Spain will definitely try and keep as much possession as possible. And I do think, as I said, the physicality of the Swiss will definitely get. I think that could be a really big factor. I'll get into my prediction a bit later, but I'll say that could, like, you look at their strikers, you've got Mbolo and what's his name, Safarovic there. We're just two big present. They have a big presence on the field. And then you got
and Zumba as well on the assisting front. 4 assists so far, Zumba. It's pretty amazing considering how many goals they've scored. He's assisted 4 out of 7 goals. He's having a hell of a tournament. You don't have to score goals in these big European tournaments to be a big player. You can just assist and just play consistently good football, and
that's true.
It's paying off for him.
Now there is Switzerland always have that one player, old Jordi Shaqiri, Shakhtar. Nice. Do you think he can be a key player here, or do you have another?
Yeah, playing Messi. I think he has to shine. Look, he's not super fit. He can't play 120 minutes.
Got the fitness from the Alpine, mate. The Alpine slopes.
He can definitely play 90 minutes. He's not fit enough if the game does go to extra time to play all of the match. That's what we saw against France.
Yeah.
Wearing his heart out, that's for sure. Little heart. So all the power to him.
He scored a fucking push-gosh as well. So
he always does.
Goals on the Euros. He does. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Who do you think will Spain have to look like? What player do you think will have to play a good game for Spain?
Morata, man, if he doesn't bring his shooting feet.
Does he ever, though? Does he ever?
He never does. Never does. That's the problem. He's so much like Werner is for Germany, right? If you just bring their shooting feet and their proper goal scoring boots, they're just he's such a good striker, in his heyday, but he still is, but
I mean, like the first 2 games, he struggled to find the back of the net. They scored 5 against Croatia and Slovakia. So he was bound to score then. But of course, I think he is pretty much their main goal scorer. Other than that, they have Sarabia and Ferran Torres on 2 goals as well as Morata. So they're going to have to look for Morata for the goals there. So we'll get into prediction time. Who are you going for? Can the Swiss overcome Spain?
I think if the game goes to 90 minutes, I think Swiss will win. Where I think the Swiss will struggle if the game does go to extra time. I think Spain, just like they did against Croatia, they just have that little bit extra edge and fitness and experience playing these big matches on the main stage, where the Swiss kind of don't in a way. So that's kind of my prediction. It's here and there in a way. It's Swiss in 90, Spain in 120. Simple.
100%, you're right. I mean, just that France game alone, having to go through extra time, go into penalties. I don't think the Swiss have that good of a squad to kind of, not be tired from that. And you're right, Spain do have a bigger squad, more bigger players there. So that could be a deciding factor. But if I had to put it down to it, I honestly think the Swiss will win this one. That will be my prediction, Young Was. I think that they will be fired up from the France game. They do have a pretty decent squad, to be honest. You look at that, they usually play that 3 at the back formation. What is it? 3-4-1-2. Yeah. And I think this could really struggle Spain if they're just going to stick to that possession-based game. They'll probably try and hit them on the counter and whatnot. Yeah. But Switzerland it is. So, Linesman, I want to hear your predictions in the comments below. Can the Swiss beat Spain in the quarterfinals? That's the question. Now, it's going to be a hell of a game. Oh, I sure hope so, mate. but not as good as the next quarterfinal game, which will be Belgium versus Italy. This has to be the game of the tournament so far. You have Belgium hasn't lost a game. Italy hasn't lost a game. Thoughts and speculations, mate?
I mean, I know what you're going to say. It's going to be a short conversation, this one. But
you don't know that.
Look, the Azzurri playing very well, playing very good football. It's going to be hard to stop them, to be honest, from any team's perspective.
But you say that, but Belgium have also played just as good, if not better. I think they haven't even gone into extra time, so they're probably favourites.
Yeah, look, the Belgium lads will be fit. They're young, they're fit, they're young, they've got some energy. Easily play like 120 minutes if they wanted to. There's been some standout players, standout goals for Belgium so far. Not to say that Italy there hasn't been. I think Lukaku's had a very good tournament so far. He's one of those players similar to Lewandowski, where they either shine or they kind of sink. Lukaku will shine this tournament. If they can, I feel like whoever's going to make it through this group, through this fixture, will have a definite shot at lifting the title, in my opinion.
Yeah, true. You look at it, they're pretty much the only real kind of big teams. You got England on the other side of the bracket, but I feel like these two, whoever wins this year, you're right, will probably make the final. Just on Lukaku, he is, probably the most informed striker in the world right now. Say what you will, just coming off the Scudetto with Inter, mate. He's up there. But there is the big question mark over De Bruyne and Hazard being injured, probably doubtful for these games.
I feel like Hazard's pretty replaceable in this current team. He's neither here or there. It's not like his brother. Obviously, you're talking about Eden, not the good Hazard.
It's not like his slogan, the better Hazard.
No, means nothing. Scored one of the push gushes of the season, in my opinion, so far. Oh, phenomenal player. Kevin De Bruyne is a big loss, if that's true. It could be some mind games, see if he's actually injured or not. I don't know.
Yeah,
he's still in doubt from the tournament initially because the Champions League final injury that he's faced, but he seems to be recovered from that. But we'll see if he actually plays. If he plays, it's going to be like a completely different outcome to what actually could happen. So,
yeah, I mean, I think Belgium have the quality in their squad for it not to be too much of a problem. But if he's there, it's going to be could be the deciding factor, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Who do you think Italy's players of the season have been? Top three?
Definitely on this tournament, I think you can't go past Spinazzola, the fullback.
Sure.
He's just had some cracker games, the man of the match outcome a few times. Locatelli has been quite good as well. And then you got Verratti, who's had just some great games. Any stats ring a bell as to what will be key for the game?
The main one that I'm kind of looking at is Italy's averaging over 20 shots per game. And it's pretty high in any kind of football sense, whereas Belgium are kind of less than 10. They're about 9 roughly per game.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big difference. And you can definitely tell that just watching Belgium or watching Italy. Italy they'll be more hungry for the ball and just hungry to shoot on goal. They have the quality to finish as well, and that's why they're consistently winning. Not that Belgium don't, but Belgium definitely make the chances when the chances come because they have people like Lukaku who can just turn and finish and score pretty comfortably.
Yeah, well, it is.
Italy kind of need more chances. So
it's interesting you point that out because also shots against per game, Belgium have a lot with 14, whereas Italy have 7.
Yeah.
So you look, if Italy's making that much shots per game and Belgium's conceding as much shots, that might be a big factor. Definitely think Italy, as always, is strong in defense. Obviously, this team's a more attacking team than past Italy's, but you know what? That could be a major factor. Lukaku's got some experience against these defenders as well, so
And reality is a lot of these players play in the sitter, so he'll be definitely used to coming up against them week in, week out. He'll know how to attack them, know how to dribble around them, and use his strength, I guess, to just beat the man. It's going to be interesting. If Lukaku can, be on his game on game day, then I think Italy's in a bit of a sticky situation.
All right. Well, what would your prediction be here, mate? Who's versing?
I want Belgium to go.
You didn't really make it. Belgium.
I want to. As much as it pains me to say.
So would you say Belgium?
I think Belgium. But there's going to be not many goals. I think there's going to be like less than 2 goals this whole match. But I think Belgium will go through. It's going to be tight defensively.
Does it go into extra time?
What about you? If I had a magic 8 ball. No, I can't tell you if it goes into extra
honestly, time. Brain saying Belgium, heart saying Italy.
Of course. Yeah. But again, it goes back to, is De Bruyne playing as well? Will Lukaku be on his game? If none of those things are going to happen, it's Italy 100%. 100%.
True. Will Thorgan be on his game? That's the main.
On his game every time he steps out on the field, mate.
Look, I'm going to go with Italy here. It's going to be the top game. Hopefully, it'll come down to tactics, and Mancini might just outshine Martinez here. So I'm going to go Italy, mate.
It's going to be such a good game. Yep. Fair enough. Do you have a score prediction for us?
Make sure you're on that one. Not really. I'll say 2-1. Belgium get a goal. They've both conceded 1 goal. The stats are very even. But I think Italy just have this chemistry that Belgium might not have.
Of course. Yeah, no, for sure.
But we'll go Italy there. So that will probably Italy versus Switzerland in the final, maybe, or Spain. But we'll go on to the next game, the next day, which is Czech Republic versus Denmark, former Czechoslovakian Union here. So what? Czechoslovakia.
Former Czechoslovakia.
Czech Republic and Slovakia. But now these 2 teams have been, I feel like, dark horses in the tournament. Didn't expect them to go this far. You have Czech Republic, who have beaten Netherlands 2-0 in the round of 16 game. What are your thoughts on them so far in the Euros?
Surprising, honestly, man. I just completely threw me off a little bit.
In shock.
Young Czechs. I mean, they always had a good team, but they just seem to just play good football together. Scoring goals, having fun. A whole bunch of different players are assisting and contributing to all these goals. So it's not just like they're relying on one marquee player to kind of do everything for them. It's they're playing some good team football. It's good.
But they have relied on Schick a lot. Patrick Schick, he scored 4
goal scoring wise. Yeah.
He scored 4/5 of their goals so far. Him and Holes. So, do you think he is the player to watch for this?
Of
this
course,
game?
Big time. Yeah, 100%.
Schick with
Will he score? We'll see.
That's the question. I feel like both these teams, the teams that have come this far, I feel like they have pretty good squads. Goes for Denmark as well. They've got just a few decent players in there. Like you've got Souček there in Czechs. Denmark have got Højbjerg, Braithwaite, the Barcelona superstar, and just like a few other players there. So what are your thoughts for Denmark here? Their last game against Wales, domination there, 4-0. Can they do it again?
That Wales match was pathetic on Wales. They honestly just should not have even showed up. Gareth Bale particularly. But look, they'd be confident. I mean, Wales they're not a bad team. I mean, going into it, I would have put my heart on Wales to beat Denmark 5 out of 7 days of the week, I would say. So for Denmark to beat them 4-0 is definitely impressive. And and kept that clean sheet as well, which they've done twice out of 4 games so far in the tournament, which is pretty impressive. They only conceded against Belgium and Russia. They beat Russia. They did just lose to Belgium. It was only 2-1, so not even a horrible loss, I guess, against Denmark. But yeah, honestly, they're very surprising so far.
Well, there are a few players out in this game. Czechs have the fullback Borrell out, and of course, Denmark have Christian Eriksen out. He will not be returning.
And young Christian did score a stellar goal, one of the goals of the tournament as well so far. So,
oh, you mean Christensen?
Fuck.
I meant Eriksen, but Christensen did score a great goal.
Yeah, well, I know you meant.
Definitely a Puskás. Top 10.
Puskás worthy. Yeah,
100%. Probably my favorite, to be honest. Low and hard.
Yeah, I love. It's just always nice when a centre back scores those kind of goals. I personally love it.
You do love it.
I mean, strikers can kind of. Oh, mate, love it.
But
that strikers can do that any day of the week. But for a centre back to kind of come out of nowhere and score something like that, special, very special.
You got that. You got the Schick halfway goal, which was also amazing. Hopefully, we see some more of those. But I did touch on Christian Eriksen. The whole world has kind of been rallying around Denmark. Their first 2 games, they actually lost against Finland and Belgium, respectively. Didn't look like they'd progress. They ended up coming second in the group. And look, they've scored 4 goals for the next 2 games. Can they go all the way, maybe?
I think they can win this match, personally, but I don't think they can go all the way. I think the next match is kind of where they might get a little bit caught out.
True.
I think they've done very well to get this level, and all the lads will be proud, especially without Eriksen. He's obviously their driver, main engine horse. Yeah, it's very sad to see what happened with him. But
he's alive and well. Not to worry about it, everyone.
He's alive and well.
Still kicking. He's still kicking.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And the team will definitely play for him, that's for sure. And
100%.
I think they will win this match. So look, if I were to give my score prediction, 3-2 Denmark. There will be goals.
Sounds like that could actually happen.
Yeah.
Look, I'm going to go with Denmark as well. I've just looking at the stats here. I think they have superior stats. We've touched on. Czechs have only scored, Schick has scored 4 of their goals. They've 4 out of 5 goals. They're not too great in the scoring department.
Defensively, I think they're all right. They've only conceded 2 goals, though.
That's true. They've been a pretty solid team. But I just think in terms of, you look at your pass accuracy here of Denmark, 84% compared to Czechs, 75%.
Yeah, it's a bit sloppy. Sloppy at times.
Yeah. So I do feel like I'm going to go Denmark. It's a tough one. I'll go 3-1.
Yeah.
How about that?
There will be goals, though. I think we know that. Yeah, of course. Schick goal, 3-1. Put your money on it. Good. Next game.
So this is the last game of the quarterfinals, and that is the Ukraine versus England.
Is it coming home? Just answer me that, mate. Is it coming home or not?
I hope not, but it could be. I mean, they definitely...
The rumour is it's going to Rome, but who knows if it'll go home after that. This match obviously being hosted in Rome. Big game.
I mean, you say that it is an easy game for England. I mean, they did overcome Germany, which was hats off to them. The big game. But after this, it looks like they kind of have an easy ride to the final. Ukraine, they have beat Sweden in the round of 16 2-1. Again, they haven't really been tested. They lost to Netherlands in the group stages, lost to Austria, and they've only beat North Macedonia.
They've made the most out of their easy games or easy chances, if you will. Coming a little bit unlucky against Netherlands, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That was a very good game to watch. But they're playing okay. Like they'd be happy to be in this position. If they progress any further, it'll be phenomenal for the country.
Yeah.
But look, that last game that they played was it was pretty special against Sweden.
Special, eh? Well, it is a round of 16 game in the Euros. It will be a special one for them. But what was more special, I think, was that England game against Germany, because before that game, they weren't looking too impressive to me. They only, look, to be fair, they haven't conceded a goal yet, but they only have scored, since that game, only scored 2 goals, 1-0 wins against Czechs and Croatia. Do you think they've hit some form after that Germany game?
I think it helped for sure. I think, you know what, people have their doubts about, you know, the manager and the formations and everything like that. But I think everything kind of worked, you know, past the 75th minute in that game. People realized, this is why this is happening. And, you know, it makes sense. As soon as Grealish came on, for example, you could tell the whole situation. And it was beautiful football.
Grealish, 2 assists. He is the top assister. And then you got Sterling, who's scored 3 goals. Kind of a Czech Republic situation here.
That's still but...
Look, he scored all their goals, really. Kane got 1, but do you think he is their star player, or is it just luck? Luck on this side.
Unfortunately, he is right now. I think it's a bit luck. I think he's always just there in a good spot, but, you know, it's good positioning on his behalf, I think.
True. Like, he hasn't been performing as amazing. He's just scored the goal.
Missed a lot of his chances. He just happened to have scored the goal. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been their best player. Definitely not. I think there's been much better players, but yeah. I think their defense is, considering they haven't actually conceded, everyone's talking about, Sterling, should we play Sterling, Sancho, but like,
they should play Sancho, really.
Of course they should play Sancho. The defense is solid. Like, Harry Maguire's had a half decent tournament. Reece James played some phenomenal football. Luke Shaw, even Stones, who had some amazing touches in the last match against Germany. So
100%.
It was impressive.
Very solid pairing there, Stones and Maguire. And as you said, Luke Shaw has had pretty good game against Germany, at least.
Yep.
Now, looking at Ukraine, they do have a few star players here. You've got your Zinchenko's, your Yarmolenko's. Do you think they can overcome England? Do you think they have a chance? Is there like a team unity that maybe England don't have?
Of course. There is. If Ukraine can kind of get up early and score first, then man, we're on for a game. Well, first of all, they need to just score, because no one's scored against England right now. If they can just break the defense, it's going to be interesting if they can score first. I feel like if England score first, the game might be over pretty quickly. That's my opinion. But if Ukraine can really go hard early, put some pressure on, be aggressive, just bring the game, to Rome at the end of the day.
To Rome. All leads do. All roads lead to Rome, my friend. Just looking at stats here. Ukraine. 6 goals and 6 goals against, whereas England 4 goals, 0 goals against. And then you have a look, Ukraine have more shots on goal per game with 11 compared to England's 6.8. Could that be a factor in them getting an early goal there?
I mean, they are scoring more goals, which is definitely a positive sign. So if they do get that early goal, like I said, it's going to be critical for the game. And England haven't also been in that situation where they've been behind a goal at any point. So the problem is England could theoretically get to the point in the final, if they do make it, where they could be behind a goal and they don't know how to react because they've never actually been in that situation in this whole Euros. Whereas teams like Ukraine and Denmark, who they could come up against, have always been in that situation, who know how to overcome
adversity.
Adversity.
what player do you think will have the man of the match performance here?
Hopefully he starts Mason Mount. That'll be good.
Look, he has been playing.
Do you think Grealish will start?
I don't think so, to be honest. I feel like Southgate will. I think he'll probably stick with who he likes. And then Grealish maybe super sub.
Yeah, if they need it.
Yeah. But look, it does. Hopefully, Harry Kane can get on the goal sheet a bit more as well. I think he can have a standout game here. Yeah. But so let's go to predictions, mate. Who you liking?
England 3-1.
England 3-1.
Yeah, I think so. But they probably will win. Like, that's the reality of it. It'll be a massive upset if they don't. It'll be as big as the France upset if they lose. So there's a lot of hopes on this England squad right now.
That's another thing I just want to point out. Like, anything can happen. You look at these teams. France knocked out Netherlands. The smaller teams can win. I don't think it's out of Ukraine's hands to actually to win this one. Same with Switzerland, Spain, and all the other big ones. But if I had to put money in it, Ukraine's not going to win. It'll be England probably. I'll go 2-0 here. 2-0.
You don't think England will concede again? That's interesting.
I think, I think they've overcome Germany. So, unless, I don't think so. They're going to have a good game, hopefully.
Cannot wait, mate. Cannot wait.
Unless you're Ukrainian. Yeah, mate. Any final comments on the quarterfinals?
Looking forward to it. I think my games to watch are definitely that Spain match. I think there could be an upset there. And definitely this English match. I think that's definitely one to watch as well. Ukraine will take the game to them. Or at least if they do, we're in for a good finale there. And obviously that Belgium-Italy match, probably the game of the tournament so far in terms of even heavyweights. The German-England game, a little bit disappointing from the German perspective. But I think now that Belgium and Italy are much more evenly matched, and it's going to be a hell of a game. Say that much.
Sounds good, mate. Well, thanks for joining us. And hopefully we can have a look at the semi-final predictions next week. But thanks for watching, guys. I want to hear your predictions down below in the comments. Like the video and subscribe. See you guys later.